Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, if I can have everyone's attention, I'll call to order our meeting for July 22, 2014. Jill, call the roll, please.
Mr. Matthews?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Polly?
Here. The minutes were prepared for us from our regular trustees meeting dated July 8, 2014. Either of you have any changes or corrections to that set?
I have none.
I have none either. Those will stand approved as prepared for us. We also had a set of minutes from our trustee firemen's semi-annual meeting dated July 9, 2014. There was one correction to a name on that. Otherwise, do you have any other changes or corrections?
I have none.
With that one modification, those will stand approved as well. Public speaks. Anybody here tonight have anything for us before we handle our agenda items? If you do, just step up to the microphone. Anybody at all? No? All right. Mike, you want to handle the one from your department?
Sorry. We'll go ahead, Mike. You can.
Discuss cutting down pine tree at Limaville Cemetery. See enclosed quote, Limaville will pay for half. That's just talking it out.
We have a quote here from Mike's Tree and Landscaping Service for $250 to top the tree out, $300 to clean up. Half would be paid by Limaville.
And it was a lightning strike, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
they're pretty sure they can save the tree, just top the broken part off.
he said they won't take it down as much as they need
Great.
to.
All right.
And we've discussed this somewhat, and I feel that that's a very fair price. And Mike's Tree Service has done work for the township before and done a good job for us. So I guess I'd make a motion that we would go ahead and approve that.
Well, how does Limaville want us to handle this? Go ahead and pay it and get reimbursed, or?
I'm mailing a copy to Jody, and she said she would send out their half as soon as they got a
it's
copy.
paid at half? Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
So just go ahead and open the purchase order for the one half.
$275.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll second that.
Yes.
All right. You have anything else?
That's all I got.
One thing I'd like to mention, one of our trucks broke down and the transmission lines broke. And Mike, I felt, saved us some money. He shopped around and found the best buy he could get on replacing the lines, and then they did the work in-house. So I thought we saved some money there. And also, Mel's Towing had to come out and tow the truck, and he said since it was for the township that he would do it for half price. So I thought maybe we'd send him a thank you note. So.
Well, we don't have AAA?
So I thought that was nice of them to do that for us too. So, and I appreciate you guys doing that in-house like that, because I know that saved a lot of money. If we took it to big international garage, we'd have to quite a bit out.
Plus you get it back a lot quicker too.
Yeah. Other than that, you have anything for road, Dan?
No, I have nothing.
Jim?
No, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, Chief. Go ahead and there's one item on here for the fire department too?
Yeah.
All right.
Request to use the meeting room by Steve Knisley on August 8th.
It's available.
Motion to approve. Second.
Yes.
Well, you got to fill some time.
Got anything you want to report?
Thank you.
Is that it?
Really.
If you would be kind enough to stick around for a few minutes, we'll talk to you a little later, all right?
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Linda, you're under pressure to get this done. pretty
Moving right
quickly.
along.
Quickly.
There's a photo attached to each one of those that I took today,
Yeah, that's great.
so you can see the condition of them.
There are 4 or 5?
It should be 5. I added one after Jamie had typed the
Oh, okay.
agenda,
All right.
because that was the house on Pettit that was supposed to have been sold, And 2 days before the closing, the owner died in a nursing home, and then they have to wait until everything is, so whether it'll actually sell or not, I don't know.
Well, I do appreciate the conditions of the property being documented for us by the photographs. That was very helpful. And just looking through all of these, it's just tall grass and weeds.
Tall grass and weeds. And 3 of the houses are owned by deceased women.
Okay.
And there's, really not much to...
These 5 properties were not on the prior list?
No,
so these
those
all
are new
new.
ones. I had sent the letters out previously, but with the time hadn't elapsed for the last meeting.
Okay. Any questions, Dan or Mike?
No.
As authorized by Revised Code 505.87, I'll move that we find sufficient evidence of nuisance conditions existing at a number of properties, which I'll read off in a second, consisting of condition of vegetation, tall grass, weeds, etc. The properties being 12788 Union, 11374 Pettit, 11330 Tullis, 11401 Sturbridge, and finally 14329 Union. Move that we declare all of those a nuisance under the statute and authorize the cleanup.
Second.
Yes.
We'll go ahead and take care of those for you, Linda.
Thank you.
While we're taking care of this, moving on to the
Who's
next
second?
item on the agenda.
I'm sorry, were you the second on them? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I put it in the top, yeah.
I can do it, I just need to know that you just need to sign it, I'll do it.
Moving on then, any zoning issues that you want to discuss? tonight?
The 5 that we declared a nuisance at the last meeting, we did get the one on the east side of 225 mowed, the one that had been the fire problem, they did that, and Durham did theirs. These are 2 that we sent out, and the one, Kyle Knife, he did accept the delivery of the registered but did not mow it. This is one, and I did go out and post these also because that's what we did last year. But those 2, both of which are not going to be mowed, they're going to have to be weed whacked because there's just so much, and you can decide if you want that done. And the one on Vaughn, the gentleman in Michigan that we did have a forwarding address on is not accepting letters anymore from us. The bank has decided not to, they did a lien release on it, so I asked Mike to look at it and see if he thought it could be mowed or whether they would have to brush hog that one.
These were ones that were already declared.
Yes, those are the ones we did last meeting,
I appreciate you providing that additional information.
and those pictures were taken today.
Any of the other items in the book that are currently pending that you need to discuss with us at all?
I think we all got a copy of an email from the one on Beeson Street. Dan and I have been going to go out and go through that, but I wanted you and Kenny to decide.
I have pictures from today.
Do you want to review that with all of us, or do you want?
I would appreciate it.
If you'd like to, why don't we do that right now?
That's
That'd be
great.
fine.
Just come up to the microphone and give your name and address for the records.
My name is David Pyatt. I reside at 13061 Beeson Street Northeast. This has been an ongoing issue from the resolution in early April.
Mr. Matthews, please.
I feel we've gotten the trash and such all resolved.
Let's start with the front here. There's nothing out front.
There's nothing up front. In front of the detached garage is all clear. There's a picture of the rear of the garage there, and also panning across from the back door area around the property. finally let up to not be terrible. It was warm, but at least it wasn't swamp.
Well, it is good that you came out and showed us this. It certainly indicates substantial improvement. The cars that are there, are they all just personal cars?
They're all personal cars and they're all licensed.
Are all of them in running condition?
As of the description in the Ohio Revised Code, collectors' vehicles can be stored in operable or inoperable condition.
But they need to be stored indoors.
No, that is not correct. I have the regulations.
I read it.
All right, have you had any conversations with Mr. Cardinal? Did you see those on?
I sent the email to yourselves and
Uh-huh.
as well as Mr. Cardinal. I have not received any response from any of you.
And we received the email after the last trustees meeting.
Well, we'll need to talk about a few things, and then if you want to stick around, we'll see if we can
I'd gladly
sort
do
this
that.
out. All
Thank
right?
you.
Thank you. Linda, anything else?
No, sir.
Dan, anything on Mike?
No, not at this time, yes.
Well, very good. Thank you, Linda. Moving on under legal advisor, Ken, do you have anything for us tonight?
No, I don't.
Thank you. Our general township items, I'll move that we open a purchase order to Akron Canton Office Equipment in the amount of $340 for service contract renewal on the copy.
Second.
Yes. Next item is to consider the Frank Gates renewal contract. Any change in this? Is it basically the same fee as?
It's basically the same fees, went up maybe $100. It's basically the same. It'll be, and we're still in the retro group, which where we pay the full premium, but then we get a refund back.
All right, I'll move we open a purchase order in the amount of $1,306 for the yearly service fees for Frank Gates.
Second.
Yes. Next item, Jill, is to discuss the Bureau of Workers' Comp rebate.
Right. Stick it in there. We did receive a rebate back, which may or may not, I don't think it's going to show up on our receipt form because it was put in as an actual rebate instead of a receipt of new monies. But we were able to get a substantial amount back. I'm thinking it was $3,000 or something like that. I can check. I didn't. I didn't bring that form over. But we did receive our rebate back from the last time.
Okay. Next item, I'll move that we reimburse the fiscal officer, Jill McNeil, in the amount of $32.45 for certified mailings.
Second.
Yes. Final item is to request, and therefore I'll move that we open a blanket certificate in the amount of $2,000 for the contracted litter control mowing and substitute secretary services.
Great. That $2,000 is the same amount that we had opened it for at the beginning of the year. This is the first time we've had to open a new one.
That's fine.
Second.
Yes. There is one FYI under the general township. It's a note from the fiscal officer indicating that we've received $7,356.21 as a distribution of estate tax.
Great. And that was from 3 different estates.
Very good. Anything else, Jill?
No, I don't have anything right now.
Is that estate tax going to stop?
Yeah, this is probably the last year that we'll see any. It all depends on it. It ended at the end of 2013, so it's just a matter of as the states are getting probated.
I wondered why that. I thought that was the case.
Yeah, there is no. These are all one deaths that occurred before the end of December, end of 2013.
I see.
And the estate tax can always come back.
It probably would.
Remember, the legislature meets every year and they fix their biennial budget. So all it takes is in a 2-year cycle for somebody to propose it, and it could creep right back in. All right, anything else, Mike or Dan, that's general township related? No, I have nothing.
No, I have nothing.
Okay.
Jim, excuse me,
Yeah.
one thing I failed to say that might relate to some people at our meeting at the zoning inspectors. with regional planning on Friday. The sidewalk program hearings probably will be held in October, so it's taking them a little bit longer to get their ducks in a row, but I did ask about it, so they're talking October.
Very good. We have the cash revenue expenditure financial report from the fiscal officer covering the period of January 1 to the current. I'll move we approve that as prepared.
Second.
Yes.
Bills tonight are $29,345, and I'll move we authorize payment of the bills.
Second.
Yes.
Typical communication items we received, catalogs and such. I'll move we file the communication.
Second.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments for us? We moved through things pretty quickly on a very tight, limited agenda. Nobody else? All right. We're going to have an executive session to cover a number of items. Joe, if I could have that, or is it in the folder? Okay. A number of topics we plan to discuss in executive session. Pursuant to our written resolution, I'll move under 121.22G that we convene an executive session to consider employment matters, including employment compensation, and we're wrapping up consideration of employee reviews for the mid-year. Also to consider the sale of property at competitive bidding, where disclosure of the information may give an unfair competitive advantage or bargaining advantage to another. In addition, we'll be conferring with an attorney for the public body regarding disputes that are the subject of imminent court action. And finally, meeting to discuss security arrangements for the board, the township, or a public office where disclosure may reasonably jeopardize the security arrangements. Is there a second to that? Thank you.
Yes.
Jill, I'll give that back to you.
Okay. Thank you.
And that handles all of the items that we have on our agenda tonight. We appreciate you coming out for the meeting. There may be some action on a few items at the conclusion of our executive session. I'm not sure exactly how long that will take, but I'm guessing at least a half hour to 40 minutes. And otherwise, we'll stand in recess for 5 minutes before we begin that. Thanks again, everybody.